we have Dr. Sandeepa Kanitkar, the doyen of bioagri inputs industry, not just in India but across the globe. So I invite Dr. Sandeepa ji to please come and start your speaker presentation.
So, my name is Sandeepa Kanitkar. I am founder of KAN Biosys, a Pune-based company which is basically dealing in microbiome. So, the applications of microbiome in biological agriculture, we are here to learn today. So, some light of it. So, basically, all of us know about sustainable agriculture. A lot of the talk is going around sustainable agriculture. And all of you distinguished delegates, speakers out here, I'm sure that there's going to be a profound deliberation on how the microbials and biologicals will prove to be an asset in sustainable agriculture. So I'm just going to talk about the key drivers which are there in sustainable agriculture, then what are the challenges and what might be the growth potential for these products in future. So all of us know the opportunity in India. The opportunity in India is huge, as is the population of India. We have a lot of energy behind horticultural area, which is growing day by day. And last but not the least, in fact, in horticulture, we say that the exports which are there in horticulture, I come from a state called Maharashtra, where there is a lot of grape cultivation, pomegranate cultivation, and many of the farmers are exporting their produce to European countries, to Russia, to other USA also, in fact, to Latin American countries. So a lot of the production which is happening in India is of export quality. So we have biologicals have a lot of role to play in the horticulture sector in India, but that is not the only sector where the biologicals have to be used. Biologicals also have to be used in the row crops, in other crops which are, you can say, the field crops. So how biologicals can be taken to the field crops also, my presentation will dwell on these areas. So if you see the agriculture and what is exactly the challenges which are there, everyone, in fact, every seminar in agriculture, it starts with the challenges which are there in agriculture. So we see that the climate change is looming all across. We just now saw what has happened in Wayanad. We saw what has happened in Himachal Pradesh, Assam, where the floods are ravaging. Right now, Gujarat is also under water. So all of us, we know that there are some stresses which are there in the ecosystem which have to be tackled. And I know that only one mechanism is not going to be enough to tackle the climate change crisis which is looming on us. So there are many other challenges also basic with respect to the productivity issues which are there. So productivity right now, India ranks a lot, has a lot of production with respect to other crops. But then when we talk about productivity, there are some challenges. And the challenges are not only in India, they are also in other countries also. So that is a challenge which we have to be able to solve. Then there is a lot of environmental food safety which is being talked about right now. Because if you are exporting something, your population, there is a lot of food safety issues which are troubling us. Then there is a consumer awareness which we have to be able to tackle. So all of these challenges together are necessitating the use of different technologies which we might go ahead with, and if we have to solve those, then agriculture is definitely needing another transition, and that transition can only happen if we have the requisite amount of technologies for neither, in fact, for the exploring aspect, but then the scaling up will happen only after there is an exploring of technologies which can be used for solving some of the issues in agriculture. Vision 2047, because India, right now we know India gained independence in 1947. So the vision for 2047 can be there in agriculture with respect to aversing or managing or mitigating the risks which are involved. Then there are also some issues with respect to the market dynamics. Then the crop inputs are there. Then the investments in research and R&D. This investment in research and R&D is going to give us rich dividends maybe after 10 years, 20 years, but then the work should be started from right now. So that is where, in fact, I would be focusing my talk on biofertilizers, biopesticides, biostimulants, and different soil health management aspects which can surface as technologies in the coming years. Now we see the biological ecosystem in agriculture. Right now in India, what has happened is there are some very great people sitting out here in agrochemical sector. So in agrochemicals, mainly pesticides are produced or sold in India. Then there is a fertilizer sector wherein different fertilizer industries are there. But biological is the only sector wherein the soil health, the fertilization and the nutrient management, or you can say the pest management, all three aspects of crop protection and plant health are managed using biologics. So biologic, in fact, for talking, it is a very big field, and we have to be able to have the kind of technologies which can come out in the next decade with respect to biologics. So this is the basic aspect wherein the biological industry is there. Then in the biological industry, there are different registrations in India which are involved with respect to FCO, which is a fertilizer control order, and CIB, which is a Central Insecticide Board. So these are the registrations which are required to be able to sell your products either as nutrient management or stress management and the integrated pest management, which is very important in the biological sector. So all of us, we talk about microbiome. There are many here companies out here which are trying to create technologies out of biomass, out of microbes. But then if we talk about the microbiome is an area around the plant or in any of the niches where there is a carbon, there is oxygen, there is water, or it may not have some oxygen also, but a microbial community is created. And that microbial community has a signature with respect to managing different stress and creating a kind of a sustainable ecosystem wherever they flourish. So the point of discussion is harnessing the properties of this microbiome and utilizing that in agriculture. So that is a very important way in which we can carry forward the research based on microbes to be used in agriculture. So if we talk about any of the microbial company out here, they have to be able to start with the collection of microbes which are dependent on the areas from which they are isolated. And then you have to be able to keep a good library of those microorganisms which are then taken for mass production. Mass production is a science which is now being advanced in the sense of fermentation. Earlier, fermentation was only restricted to pharma kind of activities, but right now the fermentation is being carried out in these microbial aspects, wherein the formulation strategies which are there, the shelf life stability studies which are there, are carried out. And the genetics, which is right now, I was talking to a representative from US, wherein India is doing a lot of many things in harnessing the properties of microbiome with respect to fermentations, formulations. But then we have a lot to do with respect to the metagenomic analysis and the proteome analysis, in fact, which can come out of the microbiome research, which can help us to create good quality products for agriculture hereinafter. This is, in fact, any microbiologist discusses about. So right from the time the microbes were discovered using the simple microscopes of Anton von Leeuwenhoek, which was a Dutch scientist, it has come a long way in 450 years to be able to have the Earth microbiome project. All of us know about the human microbiome. In fact, Dr. K.R.K. Reddy is here. He is working a lot on microbiome. So we are right now trying to harness the properties of this microbiome and the number of scientists which this kind of research can absorb and the number of products which can come out of the microbiome is immense. So the lot depends upon us to really put the capital behind this microbiome and see to it that we produce good quality products and technologies in order to mitigate different stresses or different issues and challenges right now which are there in agriculture. So if you see, I found a very beautiful kind of presentation in one of the journals with respect to the different microbes which are there in, can I have a hand mic, please, if you're having? So if you can see the different biofertilizers and biostimulants and the different microbes which are produced in different countries, here you can see that you are able to I'm not able to pinpoint. Sorry, I'm not. Hello? Yeah, I'm not able to pinpoint using this. There must be some issue. But then if you can see the different microbes which are produced in different countries with respect to biofertilizers and biostimulants, you can see a plethora of microbes which are used for different formulations in biofertilizers and biostimulants. So a lot is happening in different countries. Some of the common microbes you can see in different continents which are used for formulation and for nitrogen fixation, P solubilization, or as biostimulants or for stress mitigation. Biostimulants for stress mitigation is a new area right now which has come into practice, in fact, in different countries. And a lot of the countries are trying to regulate these biostimulants because a lot of the times what happens is they are in fact fermented, or in fact if you see about the new technologies, no one person, no investor is going to be able to put money behind the routine humic acids or routine protein hydrolysates. You have to be having a differentiator in biostimulants which can be restricted or not restricted to antioxidants or osmoprotectants or signaling molecules, which are again the metabolites of different kinds of microbes, which are when subjected under stress can give you the result of these metabolites which can help in formulating different products for stress mitigation. So the abiotic stresses which are there, it are in fact the day by day the intensity of these stresses is increasing with respect to drought, temperature, salinity, nutrient and light. So biostimulants, they carry a lot of weightage hereinafter to be able to inducted into the package of practices of different crop cultivation practices in different countries. So this is an area which is upcoming, and if modulated in the right manner, this can give us the right kind of products to be able to mitigate different kind of stresses in agriculture. The biopesticides, in fact, is a very growing field, and the lot of research and the market development is happening with respect to the biopesticides. Now, if we see the biopesticides, what really necessitates the use of these biopesticides is the issue of pest resistance. All of us know if the same chemical pesticides are used by the growers in the manner which is a repetitive manner, then there is a lot of issue about pest resistance which is there in the system. Then the pest resurgence. If some of the pesticides are become redundant, then pest resurgence happens, which we saw in the case of whiteflies and mealybugs. So this is a very important aspect which has to be tackled. And not last but not the least is pesticide residues. So all these three, they necessitate the use of these biopesticides in tackling different aspects about you can say challenges in the normal pesticides. So we have the ability to find different active ingredients as either the microbial biomass or the metabolites which come out of microbes. So this is a global overview of the biological market which I have taken from Dunham Trimmer. This is a very recent kind of market study which has been carried out. So here you can see, how will I be able to point out? Can you show me? Okay, this one. You have to press it harder? Okay, fine. Okay. So if you see what really, okay. I don't, it is not liking my way of operation. So if you see the, I'm sorry. Yeah. So if you see the biocontrol, that is growing at the fastest rate, and that is supposed to, in fact, go beyond the 15 billion mark in the global sense. So if we see the three aspects of biofertilizers, biostimulants, and biopesticide or biocontrol, biocontrol is where the investors are putting their capital behind, because there is a set market, and the extrapolation or the mass multiplication which can happen in biocontrol is much, much better than the biostimulants or the biofertilizers. So this is what is happening with respect to the market. So a 30 billion market is waiting for us in the next coming years, and we really have to do our best in Asia for the fermentation, for formulation, for finding out the right microbes, and to be able to register the microbes not only in India but also outside. I'm happy that India, it takes less than maybe 4 to 5 years to register the biopesticides, which is not the case in Europe. In fact, US is also having many of the guidelines which are having waivers with respect to registration. So India is doing a lot with respect to registering the molecule or the actives in the right manner. So if you see the key limitations, all is not very nice about biologicals, where there are many other limitations which also have to be solved, which is with respect to the consistent product quality. That is what many of the scientists are working with. The second is the consistent field performance. If you are going to be having the consistent product quality, then you can expect a consistent field performance with the right microbe. Genetic purity and quality. Most of the manufacturers right now are not being able to produce the 4-knot purity or the 5-knot purity, which is required to be able to show the results in the field. So this is the basic mechanism by which you have to be able to standardize different biologics in order for them to be extrapolated on the mass scale. Then the product compatibilities with the existing, you can say, chemistries and POPs. Many of the biologicals are used as touch-me-nots, so you can't mix it with the chemicals. So many of these microbes, they have the power of mutation. You can rely on some of the microbes with respect to the tank mix concentration, so wherein they might be used in the integrated pest management. So this is one of the things. Then shelf-stable formulation. India is a tropical country. The temperatures, they go soar high. So you have to be having the right formulation ingredients, the right morphogenetic phase of the microbes to be able to have the shelf-stable formulations for future. And the farmer education, the channel awareness and distribution. All of us know big companies like PI Industries or UPL, they're having more than 16,000 distributors, 25,000 dealers and retailers, more than that, the NUCA. So what we have to be able to find out is how we can align with them, or maybe have some investor, we have to be able to have the convincing power to take our products to the channel in this manner. Because if we are taking a lot of this time to reach the farmers, then the farmers, they are going to lose the interest which is built properly around the biologicals. So this is a very important aspect which has to be tackled. Then the farmer perception. There are different concerns with respect to biologicals, with respect to slow acting. They are affected by high temperature or sunlight. They are tedious to use. Farmers think that they are produced by small companies, so they may not have been tested to that extent. Then the fear of residues. Some of the issues with biologicals is that the chemical people used to say that they are adulterated with different chemical pesticides. So farmer also has perception through that. Then why trust biologicals? In fact, some of the farmers, they tell me when chemicals also are being phased out. So you are also one of the step before that phasing out. So that aspects concern are there. But then definitely there is a curiosity which is being built around the biologicals with respect to the possible options as the toolbox kind of thing. Then zero PHI, they don't have any pre-harvest interval. Then low residues are there. Then definitely low response ratios of fertilizers. Fertilizers are not giving the kind of response they were giving earlier. So what is the mechanism? What are the alternatives? So biologicals, they are one of the alternatives. Then food and health issues. Farmer right now, we always talk about the health of the consumer, but the farmer health is also very important when he is using different toxins in his field. Next is the adoption. The adoption also with respect to the POP, consistency of quality, better education and training. The global competitiveness also is there if we in fact standardize these virtues with respect to the biologics. So I will just like you all to visit our booth E07 if you want to learn about how microbial products are formulated and how we intend to work with different companies, different channel, and take our products to the end user. So one of this mechanism is about the seed treatment or the seed dressing, wherein the factory level seed dressing can happen by the biopesticides or the foliar biofertilizers which are there. They can be used with this mechanism, or the fertilizer use efficiency can go up if you are using biofertilizers along with the chemical fertilizers after testing the compatibility. Because all of us talk about nutrient density in the food. So biofertilizers can help us to improve the nutrient density in our food and improve the recovery, for example, in case of sugarcane. So this is very important. The next is the BC, the soil health management or the regenerative agriculture, which in fact is important because all of us know that carbon is important, and if we don't utilize the carbon, every October, all of us talk about the Delhi pollution and the stubble burning. So there are technologies available which have to be taken up, first of all, for convincing the farmers on maybe 100,000, 500,000 hectares, and then we may be able to convince the farmer and take it to the mass extrapolation. So technologies are available. They have been validated by different universities. So it is for us to really to take it up to the end user. So this is the POP or the package of practices which have to be integrated in the normal chemical practices so that we aim at the highest production levels. Because we always cry about India not having the kind of productivity India wishes, but this is an important aspect. So the next trends in biological agriculture inputs are, I've created a vowel system of AEIOU, wherein A stands for the assisted, wherein easily we can replace around 25% of the chemical pesticides and fertilizers if at all they are utilized in the proper package of practices. Then it's an enhanced kind of practice wherein we add the biologics to it. Then there are intensive kind of active practices with respect to microbials, with respect to precision, digital and seed. Then optimized conditions. And our ultimate goal is the universal POPs which are created with the combination of microbial and chemical activities. So these are the next gen inputs which we are after. And as I discussed earlier, the omics platform is going to help us with respect to the metaproteomics, the transcriptomics, the genomics, which we are doing right now, and then last but not the least, metabolomics, which is going to help us to find out the new metabolites which are needed. As this is the last slide which I took from Rick Melnick and Mark Trimmer, wherein these are the kind of acquisitions, mergers and acquisitions, or the distribution and R&D manufacturing right now which are happening between the biological companies and the chemical companies, and which is the need of the hour, because this sector has to grow beyond what is really necessary. So what has Einstein to do with farming? I created a small equation with respect to E is equal to mc square, where is the m is for the microbes, the c is for the carbon, and the energy which is going to be generated from the microbial and the carbon activity is going to help us to transition to sustainable agriculture. So all of us have to keep it in mind that the only two things you have to remember after my presentation are that you have to be able to build up the soil carbon, and you have to be able to use microbes along with the chemical intensive farming practices, which in fact will help us to improve the productivity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeepa ji. I want to share something about Dr. Sandeepa. I've been trying to get her to all our events last 7-8 years, but try again करके जो कहावत है बिल्कुल सही है. So thank you, ma'am, for coming, and thanks for starting this sessions. I'm sure we're going to have a great time next 2 days. Take a picture. Krista is president of First Flight Ventures USA, and she's here with us for these 2 days.